Welcome back, friends. Today, Andy welcomes Chris Romer and Mike Brown of the Vail Valley Partnership. From youth and adult apprenticeships to women in business groups and leadership training courses, the VVP is a true community partner. Their vision is simple and the mission is focused. Stay tuned and find out why this small town chamber has been voted #1 across the U.S. since 2016.
Hello, everyone. Today we are here with Chris Romer and Mike Brown. Chris, you are the CEO and president of the Vail Valley Partnership. Mike, you're the chairman of the board. Okay, Frank.
Just like Frank Sinatra,
Frank
yes.
Sinatra. Can you sing too?
Absolutely not.
Okay, well, I can't either, so we won't even go there. But welcome, both of you. So happy to have you both here and get everyone familiar with understanding what the Vail Valley Partnership is about.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, and thank you for not making Mike sing.
Yeah. Ruin this right out of the gate.
I have sung at the Youth Power Gala, and no one ever wants to hear that again. They raised a lot of money for people making me stop singing, so it was for a good cause.
Good job.
I was there.
Fundraising.
I can attest to that. All of it.
Well, so let's start out by sharing a little bit first, Chris. What's your background? How did you get here? And then we'll go later into explaining a little bit of the background of the Vail Valley Partnership.
Yeah, sure thing. Thank you. I'll keep it very brief. Born in Chicago, raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. I got to Colorado as fast as I could. Spent 4 years in Boulder at the University of Colorado and moved to Vail after completing my college degree in business and tourism management and marketing, and was involved in the community and started at the partnership in 2007 and have been there since. So I got to the mountains as fast as I could after growing up in the Midwest.
That happens quite often.
It does.
And Mike, a little background with you?
Yes, born and raised in Oklahoma. Went to Oklahoma State University, but before that, for church trips with my family, we'd been coming out to Colorado and visiting and skiing for as long as I can remember. When I left Oklahoma State University, like Chris, I had some friends, some former Okies who had moved to Colorado ahead of me, so I joined them in the Roaring Fork Valley. That's also where I began with my current employer, Alpine Bank, 34 years ago. And I was transferred over to the bank, thankfully, to the Vail Valley in the late 90s. So
Nice.
Been here ever since. Yeah.
Known each other for years.
Yes, we have.
All right. Well, that is great background of each one of you. Now let's get a little background because I know there's a lot of history and some switching around with the Vail Valley Partnership. So
The Vail Valley Partnership is the Chamber of Commerce, economic development organization, and sales and marketing organization representing Eagle County and the entire Eagle River Valley, which might not mean anything to anybody other than knowing that we're here to support businesses, to lead collaborative efforts, and to support our community at large, and specifically within that, the businesses and the workforce that make up our community. The Vail Valley Partnership started in 1964 as the Vail Resort Association. And I'm not going to bore anybody with a million acronyms, but I will try and cover it briefly. So 1964, the founders at the time, when Vail was just starting, Ski Mountain opened in 1962. The Chamber of Commerce, Vail Resort Association, started in 1964, and the town of Vail was incorporated in 1966. So if you really think about that, the skiing in the mountain is the most important thing. Supporting the business community is then the second thing that they really did. And the third thing is they said, oh, we probably need a government, right? So the business community more important than the government in the hierarchy of how they started things. The organization merged and morphed and evolved over time to continue to meet the needs of the business community, to the Vail Valley Tourism and Convention Bureau, Vail Valley Chamber and Tourism Bureau. And in 2007, the board and the community at the time rebranded to the Vail Valley Partnership to take on a bigger scope on advocacy, economic development, air service development, be a little bit more community focused. So that's a brief synopsis of lots of acronyms that people will remember if they've been here a long time. But that's the genesis of how the Vail Valley Partnership came about.
Yeah, which is so important. If you think back, right, from the evolution of, okay, I've been here since 1984, and really it was the town of Vail. Avon then was considered Down Valley. and,
Right.
and Edwards, oh my gosh, if you went to Edwards, you're trekking all its way.
Edge of the universe.
Yeah. What a change, right? And vision, like ahead of time, to having that start back in the 60s, and little did they know how far west that would go and how important with the businesses in our community this would become.
Yeah, it's the entire valley it's one labor shed. You might live in Gypsum and work in Avon. You might live in Edwards and work in Eagle. You might live in Eagle, work in Vail. But we're all interconnected, and frankly, the only people who care about those municipal boundaries are the people who collect the sales tax.
Yeah.
Most people, business owners, operators, people who live here, people who vacation here, second homeowners, they don't frankly care if they're in unincorporated Eagle County or Avon, or if they're in Edwards or Eagle. They just know that they have the tools and resources available to them that make this one community, right? And then the partnership really helps bridge a lot of those different entities and a lot of those different organizations to help build successful community.
Yeah, no, that's terrific. So really important. But I think also it'll be helpful for people to understand the mission and the vision of the Vail Valley Partnership, also known as VVP.
Yes. At the partnership, we have possibly the shortest mission and vision of any organization. It's 2 words each. The vision of the organization is community vitality, and the mission is to lead collaboration. So those are the words. Those are the guiding principles about what it is that we do, what we hope for in the vision. Community vitality. How we go about it is lead collaboration. And I think I'll hand it to Mike to talk a little bit about why that's important from a community and business standpoint.
Yeah, although I'm chairman of the board now, involvement with the chamber, namely going back to 1996 when I set foot in the Vail Valley from the Roaring Fork Valley, one of my first involvement was with the ambassador program at the Vail Valley Chamber and Tourism Bureau. That's a mouthful. But I was part of the ambassador program, and that was a group of young business leaders from all industries who were there to help promote not only the chamber, but to be part of the activities, the mixers, things of that nature, and to reach out to other like-minded business leaders, to find common ground, common needs and so forth that the chamber could serve. Fast forward to when we became the Vail Valley Partnership, people think of the chamber in a town or a city as perhaps a gathering place for businesses, or a place where businesses register so they're part of a directory. And they think of mixers and so forth where business leaders go to talk to each other. It's really evolved into so much more, particularly in the Vail Valley. We have a very unique, beautiful place that we do business in and that we live in. We also have a number of challenges, a number of needs, whether it is finding employees in the first place, let alone housing them, medical insurance, just transportation, a number of different things that affect our businesses and thus affect our employees, our residents, as well as our visitors. And so really the chamber has evolved, the Vail Valley Partnership has evolved into an area not only where businesses come together, but where we also advocate and discuss for different needs for the businesses that we have in common. And again, I've listed a few of those, but it's really become an advocacy center and something that not only promotes the Vail Valley outwardly, but also works to promote businesses and the business health and the business community within the Vail Valley.
Yeah, which really the partnership aspect of the name, I think, was just brilliant, of how that got brought together of the collaboration. It is a partnership. We are unique in this area that we all, it's just intertwined of the businesses, the tourism, everything up and down the valley. So kudos for making that name change.
Yeah.
And if I could, I think that Mike articulated it really well. But Andy, you brought up a really important point around the name, because we still, even though we made this change 18 years ago from the Chamber and Tourism Bureau to the partnership, we still get asked, and I'm asked by my colleagues around the country, why are you the partnership instead of the chamber? And I explained that it was really an aspirational brand positioning by the folks at the time, looking at how do we get things done,
Yeah.
right? How do we move beyond the mixers and the connections, which are very important to people, and we still do those things. But how do we evolve to meet the needs of what the community is today? And it was around that idea of being an advocate, of building programs, of getting things accomplished. And the idea of all of that happens together. It can't happen by the private sector alone or by the public sector alone. It has to happen with this inherent idea of partnership. And that is sometimes really messy, right? Sometimes it's clunky, and sometimes it's hard, and sometimes we take arrows in the back, but we do it with that vision and that idea of community in mind. And our board, to their credit, have been unapologetic about getting things done.
Right.
Yeah, I think of passive and active. Those are the two words that come to mind when I think of the evolution. It's no longer can we be a passive organization where businesses come to us. It is now, such a large membership, so many businesses from different industries in a maturing area that it has to be active collaboration and advocacy.
I agree.
Yeah.
And how many members are there?
About 800.
Are those mostly businesses, or do you have individuals also part of it?
Yeah, business members. We also do have individual memberships, and we have about 200 individual members on top of that can access some of our benefits and programs and health programs and different things. But 800 businesses, another 200 individuals. So we have a pretty good footprint when you consider the scope here. And to Mike's point, it's people who are interested in actively being part of having a voice for business and having a representative at the federal level, at the state level, at the local level, to ensure that the voice of business is heard by our nonprofit and special district and government officials.
Yeah, and it's continually amazing to me, especially when I began my affiliation, both as a business manager as well as a volunteer for the Chamber and Tourism Bureau, to today, the diversity and the size of the membership, as Chris said, from individuals to small businesses that may have less than a dozen managers and employees, to businesses like Alpine Bank, who have offices all over Colorado but have a distinct presence in the Vail Valley, to very large businesses, so to speak, like Vail Health and so forth, who have literally hundreds of employees. So just a diverse size of industries, a diverse size of employees and so forth. It's just remarkable to see how it's evolved.
So are 501(c)(3)s also part of the partnership?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
sure thing.
Yeah.
We have about 60 or so nonprofit members, primarily the 501c3 charitable organizations. We run an entire nonprofit network that gives them training and support. So we have a lot of niche programs and a lot of programs that meet industry-specific needs, be it nonprofit or lodging, different things that are available to different components. We know that this community and our organization is not a one-size-fits-all organization, right? We have different programs to meet the needs of young professionals and C-suite leaders and everything in between.
Right, and I think I transposed the 3C3. But I recall back several years ago, I remember taking even a course on something that you offer to, it could be individuals, anyone that's interested in the topics of providing learning tools and skills and workshops. Do you not provide that? Or
We do. We do. Yeah.
people just because I remember taking that years ago on something I don't even recall, but just so everyone knows that's a value and a benefit for the community to really utilize the VVP as a resource for a learning aspect or getting involved with the community and value that you bring.
Yeah, we have a separate associated organization. It's a 501c3 actually. It's Vail Valley Works, and that houses all of our professional development and training courses. So we have various leadership courses. We have a nonprofit fundraising course. We're hosting a leveraging local leaders elected official course. We host board service classes. We have a lot of different courses that we run under that banner to provide the connection for people, to provide industry connections and network for people, and to provide and adapt to the needs of our businesses and our workforce. So we have about a dozen different programs that we run under that for professional development, everything from young professionals to C-suite, youth apprentices. We're launching adult apprenticeship programs, all because of the needs of the individuals and the businesses in our community.
Yeah, that's fabulous. I just don't think a lot of people realize this resource and this group is out here, and that's why we're out here just to get the word out. And again, we're all about collaboration and partnership in this valley, whether you're here as a second home, a business owner, retired, everyone's involved.
Yeah, as a company and a member of the VVP, not just my status on the board, I've benefited heavily. My company has benefited heavily in the Vail Valley from two of the programs that Chris mentioned in general. Vail Valley Works, one of my longtime officers, very valued employee, wanted to get some training on management and leadership. And she, I'm happy to say, went through, a 2-year course for Vail Valley Works. And it really, I think it will enhance her skills, not only in the workplace, but in the community going forward for a long time. The CareerWise, the apprentice program that Chris mentioned, that has been going on for a number of years now. And really what it is a collaboration between the Vail Valley Partnership, businesses, Colorado Mountain College, and the school district to find folks who have lived here, grown up here, who want to stay here and work here. And so that is an apprentice program that begins in late high school, I'll call it. And for those students who are going to Colorado Mountain College, and they work and apply to different businesses based upon their interest at that point. So in finance, we probably have 2 to 3 apprentices at Alpine Bank per year that come in. And a number of those folks are still with us, still going to Colorado Mountain College and getting their education. But at the same time, they continue to work at our banks and our locations. And I'm hoping, knock on whatever, that, they'll stay and make a career out of Alpine Bank.
Yeah, and I want to take a little moment of privilege to talk about that program with a bit more color, because that program started about 7 or 8 years ago as an idea. We brought together industry, we brought together the folks from CareerWise and from Switzerland, because it's modeled after the Swiss apprenticeship model, on a Monday holiday. And we filled the room with business people, and it was a holiday where most of them were off work that day. And they all showed up, which told us that there was some there. And it has grown into CareerWise as an organization, has CareerWise New York, CareerWise Indiana, CareerWise Colorado, and CareerWise Eagle County. We are the most successful youth apprenticeship program in the country in Eagle County, more so than the state of Colorado, the state of Indiana, the state of New York, because of the partnership that Mike talked about. It's really a unique and impactful program.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I know that over the years too, that the VVP has won a couple community awards, correct?
We have.
Yeah.
I should let Mike talk about this, but I will share that the Vail Valley Partnership has been recognized as the National Chamber of the Year through the Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives, which is our overarching association, in 2024, 2020 and 2016.
We're on a 4-year cycle. Yeah.
Yeah, you're only eligible every 4 years. Otherwise, I would like to think we would win more often. But it's a great recognition and honor for us of all the Chamber of Commerce organizations in the country to be able to say to our community here in Eagle County, for our Board of Governors and for our staff, to say we are recognized by our peers as the top Chamber of Commerce in the country. It's a point of professional pride for me to be associated with the board members and the staff that help make that happen.
What a great model for other places. What a great model.
Yeah, it's a testament, I think, to Chris's leadership, the staff, and we have a very fine staff working at the partnership, full of folks who've been with us for years, as well as the board. But, we get together and look when we apply for this honor. The questions that are posed to chambers like ours across the nation are just, how do you advocate for the business community? What do you do to better the community or communities where you reside? So it really is just, we answer those. I'm not going to say it's a breeze, but it's the things that we're questioned on, the things when we look at this are things that we've been doing and been advocating for forever, whether it's programs and the different programs that address different employees, businesses, and so forth, the apprenticeship program, the way that we advocate for common needs within the business community. It's really a testament to the evolution of the Chamber and the Vail Valley Partnership.
One of the best things about the CareerWise Youth Apprenticeship Program is the fact that it's industry agnostic, right? Businesses, we have nonprofits, we have the airport, we have the school district, we have
Construction.
Finance and construction and hospitality. We have small businesses, we have big businesses, we have the trades, we have so many. And so it's, if you're a business of any size, of any scope, that's interested in attracting and retaining employees, the CareerWise Youth Apprenticeship Program is a great way to do that. You can reach out to us at the partnership. We have 2 people dedicated to this work who can help you navigate and help you understand. We host workforce luncheons. We host different business recruiting events to be able to explain exactly the process. And this year, in 2025, we're actually launching an adult apprenticeship program. So we'll be able to do the same thing that we've had success with on the youth for people looking for career change, mid-career professionals or seasonal people looking to be more year-round employees. So it is available to businesses of every size, of any scope, in any industry, in any location. And it's one that we're just super excited about because of the impact it has on people and the impact it has on businesses. And at the end of the day, successful communities need successful businesses, and successful businesses need successful people. And this program, the apprenticeship program, hits all 3 of those.
Yeah, that's terrific. That's something really of value for both employers and which we get a lot of people that come here thinking they're retiring and want start another career. What a great way to add that into the community. So for volunteers or mentors, is that something that you're looking for in the business or in the VVP?
Yeah, so at the partnership, we're really staff and board driven. We don't have a lot of traditional volunteer opportunities, but we do have a lot of engagement opportunities. A few things that retirees or second homeowners might be interested in is, number one, our Economic Development Advisory Council. We have a number of folks who have recently relocated after successful careers in other areas. And that's a quarterly meeting where we bring in folks to talk about topical issues. Maybe that's housing or transit or air service or childcare or some of the other things we've talked about on this podcast. And that's an ability for them to grow their network and grow deeper connections within the local community and also share their experience and feedback with us. We have other opportunities. We have a trailing partner program. It's called My Partner Career Network. When folks relocate to the area, their spouse or partner is looking for a career. So if you're a banker and you relocate here, how do we incorporate your partner into the community? if you're a new veterinarian, if you're any industry, we help engage your partner within the community and have an entire network. So we would welcome those folks to be part of that network or to participate in the trailing partner program. The last thing I would say is we have volunteer opportunities where we really centralize all the nonprofits and the true traditional volunteer opportunities. So we consolidate all of those and promote all of those to be able to be that connector and that single repository of information to then provide it out. And we've toyed for years with the development of a mentor program. We haven't figured that out yet, but if enough people are interested in, it would probably give us the ability to do that.
Yeah.
If someone wants to take that on out there, okay.
We would love a volunteer to help us.
Yeah.
There you go,
But in the
perfect.
meantime, I'll speak to that last point about the nonprofit community. I mean, we have such a rich, diverse nonprofit community, both in the Vail Valley community in general, but also, as we've talked about before, as members at the Vail Valley Partnership. So already, in a way, kind of that central repository. And I have the pleasure of meeting so many people in my business coming into the Valley wanting to get involved based upon perhaps certain interests and so forth. And, you know, this is a great way. The Vail Valley Partnership is a great repository of those nonprofit members that have any number of volunteer opportunities, board opportunities, things of that nature.
That's great. I love that because I too get people asking when they move out here and how they can get involved. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
If someone's not a member currently, but wants to attend an event or just understand it a little more, can they participate? How do they do that? And how do they go about that?
Yeah, so the first thing is we shame everybody if they're not a member. We call them out. No, I'm kidding. We don't do any of those things. We welcome everybody. All of our professional development programs, all of our events have a public price and a member price. So we welcome people to come in and get a taste of the organization, get an idea for what the networking or the professional development programming or what any of the different things are. And to understand what that is and what it means to be part of the broader community. So we are a member-based organization. Chambers of commerce around the country are membership-based organizations, but we recognize that it's not always available to people to be members, and so we have public pricing, and we invite the public to come and participate in our Community Leadership Academy or our Women in Business group or our C-Suite group. And there's just a little bit of a price premium for a public price, but it's hopefully the connections built and the value of the programming makes you say, gosh, that membership is an appropriate use of my investment to be part of something bigger and find more value in all the things. But the public is definitely welcome. I was teasing about the shaming. We don't do that. We welcome everybody.
Yeah, we are not exclusionary. We welcome everyone. Again, we would hope and love that people, once they find out about not only the partnership, but what the partnership can offer, that they do become members. But we also understand, and I think we were in the same role when we first got here, it takes kind of getting to know us and that first knowledge and so forth. But most people, when they start to understand what the partnership is about and our programs and the diversity of our programs, they become members pretty quickly.
Oh, good. Well, I'll see you at the next event. So if you could wave that magic wand, is there anything in the future that you would like to see that would happen for the VVP?
That's a loaded question.
I'll do my best to take that first, and then we'll look to Mike. So we really try to think of ourselves and try and build our programs and talk to our board and our team a lot around the idea of helping address community problems. What are the challenges facing our community, and how do we be that leader? How do we be that convener? How do we be that champion to address them? I'll share a couple examples before I answer your question. One example was the creation of Core Transit.
Yeah.
So we were instrumental in that, working with our eco-transit, working with our local elected officials in the county and the business community. And we helped lead that initiative, ran the ballot question, working closely with the community members. We ran the issue committee to raise the money to advertise and to fund that effort. And now we have free bus transit throughout the valley. It's a really great example of taking something that was there but wasn't functioning the way the community needed it to. And for the chamber to take that leadership role, working with and in collaboration with a lot of others to create something new and much more impactful, right? So that's one example. The second example is around air service development and working with the EGE Air Alliance, which is a separate organization that the partnership manages and administers. And we've been able to bring in 2 low-cost carriers. We've been able to increase our summer service. We've been able to help receive a $1 million grant from the federal government, and the EGE Air Alliance providing local flight rebate programs and really helping build the Eagle County Regional Airport as a place not only for our second homeowners and tourists, but a place for locals to use. And again, that same theme of addressing community problems, recognizing issues that exist, and not just doing it, but working with others to bring them to the table, listening, reacting, being proactive to do that. So that said, 2 of the biggest challenges that we have in this community is housing and is healthcare. And so we're actively involved in both of those things. If I could wave the magic wand, what I would say is the 2-part answer. One is the creation of a multi-jurisdictional housing authority that would allow local communities in the county to band together for workforce housing opportunities. And associated with that would be the creation of a community land trust that could help provide a nonprofit fundraising opportunity for people to be engaged with the development of workforce housing. So that would be the first one. The second might be around the idea of health insurance and how we build a health insurance cooperative. We've been working on that for a number of years. It's immensely challenging because of the legislative environment and the political, national and state political ramifications that work there. But those would be the 2 things that I would address. And I'd be curious what my boss has to say about those things.
If you had asked me the same question, what do I wish for within the business community in the chamber 15 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago, I would actually say I wish for what we have now, which we have involvement from just about every industry, every business in the common challenges. Chris mentioned a couple of successes, core transit. Not saying that we did all that, but we got businesses together through the partnership to help advocate for the creation of something we've needed for a very long time, which is a transit authority, a unified transit authority that will serve the valley, serve our employees, serve the businesses. And then the other part of it is the Air Alliance. I've been part of the Air Alliance going back probably 20 plus years before it became affiliated with the partnership. And that just quite simply was the need to get more flights in winter and summer, as well as the shoulder seasons, into our regional airport. And you can just tell from the headlines with Frontier coming in, as well as United and American, who've been legacy airlines flying into, that we've had just a ton of success there. And that's been in no small part businesses getting involved and saying, this is what we need, and the partnership helping to kind of coordinate and direct that. Going forward, what Chris says, and he says it very well, housing, that is a huge need. No surprise there to anybody who's been here any length of time. But we have any number of challenges like that going forward. But I think that for me, as both a business manager, as well as my affiliation with the board, with the Vail Valley Partnership, these are challenges going forward that I think we can help solve. There's nothing we can't do, in other words.
Those are 2 core areas that need to be addressed. I agree. I do have to ask a question because someone asked me this not that long ago, because it went from eco transit to core transit. What does core stand for?
So core transit, remember, is its own entity and its own organization. But what it stands for, I think that as they went through their branding exercise, they didn't want to be boring old eco transit, right? Eagle County Regional Transit Authority. Okay. They wanted something a little more inspirational, and CORE and their logo with the heart is really the I-70 and Highway 6 corridor, right? That's the core of the valley. And being able to service this linear valley from Dotsero to Vail in a meaningful way, and being able to move workforce and visitors throughout that, I think CORE speaks to the essence and idea of being that core heartbeat, that core corridor. I think there's a lot of play on words that could go there, but core transit is really that centralization of I-70 and Highway 6 through the valley.
Got it, because people are asking, what's the acronym?
No acronym.
That's so, just had to clarify that.
They might be the only one, Andy, the only organization in this entire community that hasn't been reduced to an acronym. So good for them.
Okay, there we go. Glad we got that clarified and answered for myself and a lot of people that ask me that, and I go, I don't know.
You just need to make one up.
Okay, well, we can do that. So, well, fantastic, super, super helpful information. People can get involved, find out more information, but thank you both for your time and explanations, and go to the website. You can see more information. It has the strategies, the vision, everything that we discussed, and more. So thank you both.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.